Greetings, this is Freener Adventure. I welcome you to my little Christmas special, my 12 Days of Christmas Lore. For those who know, the song 12 Days of Christmas refers to, 12 days, which only starts on the 25th, making this the first. With a partridge in a pear tree. In this case, I will go over different trivia and lore of Christmas. And was that okay? This is made entirely for informational and entertainment. Any personal view itself is not meant to be offensive. There. And some element, and a quick observer, there will be elements of this that used in this that are not I do not own, and will be credited both at the end of the video and in the video description. And to start the day, we have the origin on this first day of Christmas. I bring you the origins of Christmas. Now, for anyone of the Christian faith knows what the biblical origin is. The birth of the Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm personally of the Roman Catholic faith, so this is my belief. Which tells about and this talks about the origin of the start where the prophesied Messiah, the Son of God, would be born on Earth. He would be the one who grew up to redeem us of our sins. It is a tale brief overview. The Virgin Mary is told by an angel, a messenger of God, that she will bear a son who should be called Jesus, and he'd be the Son of God. Now, because of a new law of Rome for the census being Rome, all Roman territories occupied, all of Rome, including occupied territories, should be censored, and to get a full accounting. And that those must return to the place of their birth. And so they must travel to her now husband's or place of birth to go for this, but the only inn they can reach in town has no spaces, and they must go in the manger. Now, this being a prophesied birth, apparently signs were all world. A star shines in the heavens and over the birthplace, attracting all manner of shepherds and their flock stuff, and even kings and wise men from old times, like the 3 wise men, though biblically I don't think there was actually a specific number given. Though some of them, as well, though some of these did have to, of course, entering another ruler's land, talk to the I think it's I gotta recheck if it's Hebrew or if he was actually of a Hebrew or if he's actually from a Roman governor and stuff. But I think he was the Hebrew king under the rule of Rome. Herod hears of these Jews coming to see this prophesied future, was described as King of the Jews and Stephen's threat, but instead asked asks them to tell those to go pay homage, but really seeks to end the child. So as part of War in a Dream, the wise men return home different ways, do not report back to Earth, and Mary and Joseph flee to Egypt to escape Herod, who starts going after any child born within the time span. In epic story, sadly, from what many historians can tell, nowhere near accurate. Like, there's no record of this calling ever, or any great reports of a star. I'm willing enough to admit that this is probably not a historically accurate story, okay? Because I have always seen the Bible. Since I've become an adult, I've come to see the Bible as a book of parables. Oh, there is more than one type of truth in the world, and there's like the historical truth. Truth, and then there's like the theological or the philosophical things, like the moral or the true like message is. Though we are not even sure. From evidence shows, like, Jesus would probably have not even been born in December, but rather more springtime. Probably give a little giveaway that shepherds were still managing their flocks, or managing flocks. Like, probably not the best time to do that in winter. But why the change? The Bible, and groups have other mentioned this, but never gives a specific time of when the actually occurred, the birth occurred. And early Christians were persecuted for as the monotheistic basis often clashed with many other religions, who would especially those that ruled Rome in the early days. So they had to use existing celebrations as a cover saying this. We're actually they're celebrating what was known as the Feast of Nativity. That, and so around the time was the celebration was the Roman holiday of the Saturnalia. If you're familiar with Roman mythology, Saturn was a king of the elder gods, the Titans. In Greek mythology, his equivalent would be if you know Greek mythology, his equivalent would be Kronos, father of the then king of the new Jupiter, or in Greek Zeus. But and also in at least in Roman mythology, he was a god of plenty and harvest too, and was often worshipped during as part of the celebrations of the winter solstice. These often were popular things for this in Rome to celebrate this, was actually have like social reversals and such, like it kind of like evens or reverse like your social standing, like the higher up and stuff, where stuff now must humble themselves, with the other ones or the lower classes could get to live it up a little. I've even from what I've even read, some slaves were even granted a temporary freedom during this day to enjoy. Something I can appreciate that. That this is the they often used when this was the cover used, and they kind of, and even now after after the Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire, after Constantine even he acknowledged made the official feast celebrating Christmas. The many traditions still apply. I believe bringing in trees there, but that I'll talk about that during another day of the 12 days. As I said before, I think I said before, I will be doing a video for each of the days, hopefully released on the day. Kind of why I'm shooting this now, also I can release it while it's still time. A lot of celebratory preparations I had to help with. However, as we went on, and the universe and more importantly, Christianity has spread beyond the realms which Rome was or at one point had ruled, and also adopted many traditions of other holidays set near of other religions set during the winter solstice, such as the Yule times. This should be a term you're familiar with. Many of these Yules were as coming from Scandinavia, it was a celebration honoring the king of the gods of the Scandinavian Nordic regions, Odin, and also has does include one tradition which was for a while carried on into the Christian of the Yule. For Yule time, the Yule log was a large piece of wood that's brought into a house, to a home or something, and burned. And they would have and they would continue the feast, and they'd be doing feasting and all sorts of celebrations until the log finally burned out. It helped for them that this is time where they have a little bit more abundance of rich foods. Since this was close to the wet start winter, along many herdsmen would at this point, since keeping all the animals and keeping them fed throughout winter would do large tasks, would do major cullings of their herds. Sad, but at least. But they didn't have enough stuff to feed all of them, and also they could use what to provide them, like the furs and hides would help for getting through the cold, and more importantly, it allows them to get a store of meat, which greatly helped with the feasting. As I said, many of these carried over, many early celebrations. As part of the many traditions of the holidays that were celebrated at the same time carried over. The Christmas feast, in olden times, were grand parties and carnival things. I believe many have compared them to the celebration of Mardi Gras. Again, the Roman tradition of the reversal of rule happened. The Lord of the Misrule a beggar or someone lower stand, a lot lower stand, like a beggar or like a student, chosen for the honor to preside over the celebrations. And those of wealth, like, would often have visitors come of like the less fortunate, the poor, and like beggars and such, come to their homes and must offer them food, like rich food and stuff. I think they saw. In addition to being like a whole, it's also like considered like the richest way of paying their debt to society for their prosperity, and with a little bit of also a way of avoiding mischief of those less fortunate, for should they not comply with the traditions, which could be from more the Scandinavian origins. Another future video we'll talk about certain things. Also, remember, many legends were transferred over, like stuff that were transferred and often combined, like mythological entities were entities of and their stories about them were now attributed to strength to holy saints. Most notably, Saint Nicholas, as such, who assumed main roles of his like whose a lot of his Kringle persona comes from the old Nordic, the old Scandinavian legends. Though there were some problem with this way of celebrating for those, like in like the 17th century when Puritans started taking over the English, where a lot of these celebrations still lost sway, they would start banning these type of celebrations and the cult celebrations as just excuse for decadence, which they're against. I've been told they are very much very strict in worship, and all celebrations must be purely of worship, not just having a good time. Though don't quote me on that. I guess sometimes. And it also didn't help that they have the evidence that the Bible never specified a date of birth for Jesus. This even carried over to some of their colonies in the Americas, because in Boston it was illegal to show anything of Christmas spirit and stuff like that, jovial spirit, and anyone caught with that would be fined 5 shillings. Though Jamestown reportedly had no such restrictions on them, as reported by good old Captain John Smith. He said no such restrictions there. Something he probably enjoyed. They enjoyed and still enjoy many Christmas traditions, such as eggnog, which I think he is the first person to historically been reported to have drank the beverage in the colonies, apparently. Though Christmas as a whole lost a lot of popularity after the American Revolution, when a lot of old British customs were coming out of favor as they adjusted their new role as an independent nation, as we adjusted our new role as an independent nation. Though a new interest was brought into it, around a quarter of a century later with the writings of Washington Irving. He's talking about in his writings about like uh, the custom writing of the customs of British manners. And slowly, American, in order to uh, and it be and after time going on, Chris, in order just to go back into the holiday, hey, it was reinvented to be more friendly, more a family-friendly thing, a time of together stuff. Something that perhaps the parents may even themselves have been willing to celebrate. Instead of the, I guess you could say like, spring break frat house celebrations they were. And this went on until it's June 26th of 1870. It was made a federal holiday in the United States. So there. Now, of course, I would say the Puritans probably would have a may take once again issue with the current modern consumer holiday. It's often become associated with. With that, I thank you for joining me. Hey, I hope you continue joining me for the other 11 days. Please? Hey, as I said, links in the description to where I got stuff. These links will be in the description in case you want to look them up. And as always, may thee have good fortune on the quest of life. Have a Merry Christmas, and remember, even if it's not Christmas stuff, it's the current Christmas day, even the end of it, there's always the next Christmas coming up. So, even with it being Christmas Day, Christmas is still coming. Thank you.